All right. So I would like to introduce our first speaker today, um, who is the General Manager and CEO and President of VBusiness and Value Life, Sir Edison. Sir Edison, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I got muted. Hi, good morning. How are you? So welcome everyone. I hope you get relaxed, have a coffee yet, and enjoy the rest of the session. So welcome to our event. Of course, we're doing it in a couple of months, years now, and with over a year now in this pandemic, we have seen a transition of workforce and learning institution going into digital. In fact, me and my family are not exempted in this pandemic. We just recently recovered, but I've seen the beauty of this remote work and the help of our principal AWS, because our business operations and infrastructure is already in cloud. So even I did leave for almost 2 months. So still the team operated it successfully. So I see the benefit of using a cloud infrastructure and remotely. So imagine for almost 2 months. So I imagine that how the operations of the businesses. But still, the line managers, with the help of our team, we continue provide services and business continuity, not only for us, but also to our customers. Of course, I'd like to say thank you, Mia, Beeline. Thank you for hosting this event, and our principal, AWS. This is our world most comprehensive, innovative cloud platforms and infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, software as a service, which is a massive global service that allows us, everyone, quickly innovate, quickly experiment, and migrate our application as fast as we can. Of course, adapting this new situation of us, the work from home situation. And thank you, our attendees and guests. So thank you so much for continued support to us and through this journey. So since last year. And without further ado, so let's give a warm welcome to everyone. Enjoy, relax, and thank you and God bless. So go back to you, Mia.
Okay, thank you, Sir Edison. Yes, okay, so let's get started. Before I introduce our first speaker, I would like to ask another poll question. So let me just launch that very quickly. So we want to know, okay, because of the pandemic, right? So like we want to know what is your current work or learning setup? So are you working from home? Are you studying at home? Are you required to report on site? Or is it a hybrid setup? Are you working from home for several days and then required to report to work for another few days? Is it like a 50-50 kind of thing? So I will give you guys time so that we can see how is everyone working right now. Okay, I will give you another 45 seconds. I see that a lot of votes are still coming in. All right. Okay. I see that some votes are still coming in. All right. I'll give you another 20 seconds. Last call. Okay, so if you turn your attention to the GoToWebinar screen, you can let us know if you're currently 100% working from home, if you're studying at home as well, if you're a student, if you are required or mandated by your offices to work on site, or if it is a hybrid setup. So a percentage of you will work from home for several days, and a percentage of you are working on site for the rest of the week. All right. Okay, some votes are still coming in. Let me give you another 10 seconds because I still see some votes coming in. Okay. Pahabol. All right. So I think that's everyone. Let me just close it very quickly and share it with you guys. All right. So as you can see, 77%. That's much more than half are working from home or studying at home, and 13% are required to do a hybrid setup, and 11% are required to report on site. Okay, so later on, this will play into our presentations. And let me hide this. Okay, and now I'm gonna give the floor to our first speaker of the day, Miss Renita Entuna. Miss Ren, are you there?
Hi, Mia.
Hi, good morning. Okay, I'll give the floor to you.
All right. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mia. And thank you everyone for joining us. Again, good morning. I am Ren Entuna, AM of Cube team at VBusiness Solutions. Yeah, so allow me to turn off my cam para makatipid tayo at mas mabilis ang ating connection, no? All right. So today I'm going to present to you a quick overview who is VBusiness and our solutions offering powered by AWS. So let me start with the VBusiness overview. VBusiness is one of the spin-off company of Value Line Systems and Solutions Corp, which is 21 years now in the IT industry. So other spin-off companies are Straight Club Solutions Inc., focusing on application development, Bewonjito Technologies, the exclusive distributor of ESET Security Solutions here in the Philippines, and of course, VBusiness Software and Solutions Inc., focusing on cloud solutions. Other services we offer, we have YesPo Chatbot, our 24/7 customer support AI. VBusiness has Exa CRM to help your business improve sales management from lead gen up to closing of accounts. We do have Sunrays Media for video streaming solutions. And VBusiness also offers Earnest. It is an e-business solutions which supports green environment by providing automated solution in cloud infrastructure. All of these are powered by AWS. Value Line, our mother company, is ISO certified 9001 for quality management and ISO 27001 for information security management. Who is VBusiness? VBusiness is an advanced consulting partner of AWS here in the Philippines. both for commercial and public sector. VBusiness is also an immersion day and solution partner, provider partner of AWS here in the Philippines. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic has proven that we can work from home and do it effectively, right? Without losing productivity. So this is according to Forbes. As you have experienced sa ano natin kanina, sa poll natin kanina, di ba? 77% naka-work from home or study from home. So during pre-pandemic, we can only attend 2 to 3 meetings in a day. But when work from home started, we're able to attend more than 5 meetings in a day, right? So here, remote working trends for 2021. A percentage of workers permanently working from home is expected to double. This is according to Gartner CFO survey revealed that 74% plan to permanently shift employees to remote work over COVID-19 crisis ends. After COVID-19 crisis ends. Next, performance management changes. Companies are making performance reviews ongoing rather than annual. Continuous feedback will become essential. As managers strives to help employees navigate their job responsibilities and meet performance expectations. This and all while using cloud-based software such as HRIS. Next, hybrid setup or reduce office space. So isa sa mga remote working trends natin this year, many companies are planning a new combination of remote and on-site working, giving rise to a hybrid work model. So right now, I believe 11% ang naka-on-site reporting sa atin. Actually, some companies are doing this kind of setup right now. Like one of my clients, they go to their office on specific days per week and then remote work on the other days naman. Next, the rise of chatbot as a virtual assistant. Customers nowadays are tech savvy and they wanted fast support services. With chatbots on board, your website or app enables users to personally search for and get any information on your products and services. Sharing with you 4 remote work and learning solutions. First, Amazon Workspaces. It is a virtual Windows and Linux desktops that can be accessed anywhere and from any device. Next solutions is Amazon Workdocs. It makes it easy to collaborate with others and lets you easily share content and provide rich feedback and collaboratively edit documents. Next is Amazon AppStream 2.0. It is a fully managed non-persistent desktop and application virtualization service that allows your users to securely access the data, applications, and resources they need anywhere, anytime, from any supported device. And next, ESET Protect Advanced. This will help protect your company computers, laptops, and mobile devices with security products all managed via a cloud-based management console. So, kailangan natin to. Okay, next slide. Let me share one use case of workspaces. It is a happy customer of VBusiness, ProView Global Administration, Inc. Due to pandemic 19, they started to use Amazon Workspaces. to start their work from home setup for the secure environment of their employees. So most companies right now, ang talagang priority nila is ma-secure yung mga empleyado nila. Ayan, Prove, you have seen consistent performance, never had an experience with SLA slowdown. VBusiness is here to help you from day one of your cloud journey and beyond. Here's the services we can offer you. First, cloud consulting. In cloud consulting, VBusiness helps analyze data to determine which cloud solutions would best meet the customer's need. Our teams make recommendations based on their analysis. And then next is migration and development. Here, VBusiness assess the workload. So here we plan, and which also includes solutioning. Also, VBusiness helps you migrate the workload from on-prem to cloud, and also helps you optimize the environment to help the companies reduce operating expenses. And the next, cloud security. Usually this is more on server hardening and VPN setup. VBusiness also provides recommendation for additional layer of security. And then managed services. In managed services, we do cloud infrastructure management, cloud security management, billing and cost optimization, as well as application management for applications developed by Value Line. We do also have DevOps team. They're responsible for design, implementation, and migration services. We do also have use cases for Windows, SAP, VMware, and migration, as well as website and application development. Backup and storage for archiving, disaster recovery, and file storage. And user computing, VBusiness have set up workspaces, AppStream, and work docs to various companies for their work from home setup. AIML, for AIML, VBusiness offers a chatbot, extract data analytics, and contract tracing solutions. Later, I'm going to show you some of the companies we're helping using these cloud solutions. Next, products on mobile and cloud platform. We have ExaCloud CRM developed by Value Line. So you can make your sales team sales task easier with Exa CRM. Here, you can streamline all the business process, sales, customer relations, and inventory in a single platform. We do also have a payroll system. So it has a human resource function such as retirement, payroll processes, and timekeeping. We do also have YesPo chatbot. Of course, our customers never cease to have inquiries about everything. Lalo ngayong lahat na sa bahay. YesPo chatbot will cater your customers' question 24/7. And then we also have Sunrays Media. Have your very own 24/7 streaming platform on your own brand. So we can access it via TV or mobile anytime, anywhere. And last is our care information system. It is an automated and online hospital solutions for better management of patient information such as medical and treatment records, inventory, sales, and reports. So here's a good news. You can migrate your AWS cloud for free. Together with AWS VBusiness offers a free 30-day worth of credits when you migrate to AWS for the first time. If you're interested, you may contact me or Miss Crystal Hernandez, and we will be glad to set an appointment with you and discuss on your specific requirements. And I will be showing you my contact details in a while. Before we end, let me show you some of the companies that we are handling. We hope to see your logo here very soon. Yan. That ends my presentation. If you have further questions, feel free to reach me out. And here's my email address on screen. Thank you very much. Keep safe, everyone, and hope you have a great day. Nia, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ren, for sharing what VBusiness can do for you and for organizations, especially now that the pandemic is still ongoing. All right, so maybe we can turn to our next presenter. Let me just make her a presenter. All right. So I would like to introduce the account development for the Singapore and Philippine market of Amazon Web Services. So I would like to introduce Ms. Trisha Joy Medina. Trisha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
I'm
Trisha. Thank
Trisha.
you.
Yes, good morning. So yeah, first of all, of course, I want to thank everyone who is here, who's attending this webinar. Thank you for giving time. Thank you as well, of course, Value Line for inviting us to speak in this webinar. So again, I'm Trisha Medina. I am actually part of the account team, public sector here in AWS. As a lead development rep, focusing on Philippine market, Singapore, and also rest of ASEAN. Today, I'll be discussing, as what Ms. Ren already had a walkthrough kanina. So there are some solutions na nabanggit na ni Ms. Ren kanina, and the trends as well na nabanggit na rin ni Ms. Ren kanina. So medyo mag-add lang ako ng konti. But I'll be focusing on, of course, end-user computing for your remote work and remote learning. Allow me then to to turn off my camera para mas mabilis din at hindi mag-aksay ng bandwidth natin. And I'll start. All right. Okay, so okay. So again, as I mentioned earlier, let us focus on this agenda for today. I have like quite a few slides, but I have like limited timing for this webinar, but I want to go through with everything. So I'll be discussing, of course, what are the industry trends, especially for education, particularly what are or how AWS organization be able to help you adapt to the trends, and at the same time, what are the solutions and services that you can use to adapt on those trends, and how, and I'll be also showing yung mga customers namin na gumagamit din po ng mga remote working solutions with AWS. Right. So, as we all know, hanggang ngayon, we're still dealing with the pandemic, right? So the current situation that we are actually forces universities, not only universities, but basically all organizations to rethink, like that's the term, rethink their digital transformation initiatives. Before basically pre-pandemic, yung digital transformation ng mga organizations would somehow planned for 5 years to 10 years in the future. But when we had the pandemic last year, specifically last year, this digital transformation na pinaplano natin for 5 to 10 years, actually were able to complete it in a matter of months. So nagawa within a month, right? And this is all with the help of cloud technology. right? So in this pandemic, it makes management and organizations appreciates the need to be more resilient and more agile. Sabi nga ni Sir Edison kanina dun sa opening remarks niya, na-appreciate talaga niya masyado yung working remotely and studying remotely, basically working remotely, kasi kahit na nasa bahay siya, because the rest of the entire family is recovering, pero tumatakbo pa rin yung business, right? So this is something na hindi lang si Sir Edison, but majority of the executives of the organization, unti-unti na-appreciate nila that agility in the organization, being resilient in an organization is very important, right? And this is also the reason. So let's start with the trends now. So this is also the reason why most of the organizations, most of the government agencies are starting to move their critical applications to the cloud, because as part of the trends, this is the new normal. Right, flexible learning, working remotely will stay, especially ngayon na nakikita ng mga organizations kung gaano to ka cost effective, kung gaano mas nakakapag-perform ng ayos yung mga employees nila, right? So definitely this is the new normal, and flexible learning is here to stay. In fact, 30% of the schools already conducted class online. In fact, siguro ngayon this data is already outdated, kasi ngayon I think majority, if not all, but majority of the schools are already conducting online courses, right? And there are a lot of customers, not only in public sectors, even in private institutions, who are starting to move some of their critical applications, their HRIS, their financial systems, to the cloud para mas maging productive din yung kanilang mga employees, right? Particularly for students, this is not particularly for teachers, right? But all all businesses, all organizations. Um, Giving relevant feedback would definitely help your people, your employees, halimbawa, if you are building, you're a developer and you're building an application, right? So ipasok natin doon yung pagiging relevant. So if you're building an application, most likely or most of the time, it would take weeks, months maybe, to build the entire application and then months to roll it out, test it out, and then put it into production. So may mga times, sa sobrang bilis ng panahon ngayon, may mga times na when we roll it out into the market, most of the features are no longer relevant. Most of the features need to be enhanced na. Kailangan may mga bagong features na tayo ilalabas. So, pag ni-release natin yon at hindi na relevant yung na-develop nating application or yung feedback na ginawa natin, useless na, right? So, that's why being relevant in the market, being relevant to being relevant yung application na binibigay mo sa market, the feedback na binibigay mo sa students mo, tsaka sa mga staffs mo is very important. And putting everything or leveraging the benefit of cloud, of AWS cloud basically, is somehow would definitely help you, no, to provide like a relevant application and relevant feedback to your end users. May it be student, may it be your staffs or employees, right? Another trend that we're seeing, of course, is employability. Again, this is particularly relevant to education, right? Meron tayo dito mga educators na nag-attend din po. So, we all know that universities, schools, usually end goal natin dyan is to make sure na yung mga graduates natin will be able to find a good job, right? A decent job. A job na magiging masaya sila, usually, no? And mag-excel sila. So, employability nowadays is critical. And this is something na lahat ng universities are really adopting, making sure that their students, graduating students and graduated students are employable, right? This is also the reason why most universities are actually adjusting their curricula based dun sa need ng market. So ngayon, I don't know kung napapansin po natin that, of course, mas marami nang naka-appreciate ng cloud, especially since nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic. Talagang maraming gustong matuto kung paano mag-manage ng cloud, ano ba talaga yung cloud, ano yung pwede nilang gawin sa cloud, right? So anything about cloud, ang daming estudyante, not even students, but kahit yung mga yuppies, yung mga young professionals, no, they really wanted to understand what cloud can do for them. So because of that, yun na naman tayo sa pagiging relevant. Nagiging relevant sila sa market. Nagiging relevant sila sa organization, right? So, may ang dami na rin lumabas na mga shorter online courses, particularly for cloud, particularly for data analysis, for example, like leveraging cloud again. So, this is a trend that majority, not only schools, but then lahat din can relate to, right? Being relevant to your organization and being employable as a student, right? So, aside from those trends, yung mga nabanggit namin ni Ms. Ren, itong mga nababanggit ko, we also saw some trends in terms of a growing mental health challenge. Bakit po? This is particularly sa mga students, no? And I guess may mga pailan-ilan na sa mga workers na rin. So ngayon kasi na bawal lumabas, everyone is working from home, all our students are studying from home, taking exams from home, nawawala yung sense ng pagiging sociable, right? Lahat tayo, virtually lang tayo nag-uusap. And most of the times, pag webinar, nakikinig lang tayo, right? Sa mga meetings natin, hindi tayo face-to-face na. We appreciate more yung virtual na. Sabi nga kanina ni Ms. Ren is, before, sa isang araw, we can only accommodate like 2 to 3 meetings lang with our within the day, no? But now, since everything is online, you can just have five, 6, 7, depende sa availability mo. As long as fit sa calendar mo, sige, set tayo ng meeting kasi nasa bahay lang naman ako. Why not, right? So yung growth ng mental health natin, lahat tayo nakatutok na lang sa laptops natin. Nagsa-suffer ngayon yung nagsa-suffer ngayon yung ano natin, yung pagiging sociable natin. Wala na tayong masyadong nakakausap. And basically, this scenario would definitely lead to loneliness, right? To loneliness, to isolation, to boredom, and it would definitely increase the risk of depression and possibly anxiety. So, ito yung trends na nakikita rin. Aside from all the positive things, of course, there's always pros and cons on everything. But then again, dun sa mga negative things na nakikita nakikita natin sa current scenario, ano yung pwede nating gawin, right? So, since may nakikita tayong itong challenge na to, nakikita natin itong challenge na to, AWS and cloud technology can also be able to help you, right? Somehow address itong challenge na to. How can we do that? We have, I know, I'm not sure if you're all familiar. I think naririnig nyo na naman siya, yung like analytics, machine learning, right? So we have this kind of solutions, we have this kind of services that you can also leverage para you'll have the data, right? For example, let's take for example sa schools, right? So we have this kind of challenge. So we definitely use analytics, we use machine learning para ma-identify natin sino-sino ba yung mga estudyante ko ang may possibility na ma-encounter tong challenge na to, right? So through machine learning, through analytics, makikita natin, then we can do something about it. In AWS, we always say that data has a gravity, right? So as an organization, we have all the data that we need for us to be able to analyze, for us to be able to make decisions as soon as possible para ma-address natin yung mga challenges na ma-encounter ng mga estudyante natin, ng mga staffs natin and employees natin, right? Another trend that we are looking na nakita natin is that, of course, the increase of cybersecurity attacks, ransomware. In fact, especially in the US, there are quite few ransomware, like for example, yung Netwalker, which is also a strain of malware. So ang ginagawa niya is it's basically a ransomware na kinakapture niya lahat ng data ng students. Tapos kinikip niya, tapos sinasabi niya sa school na you have to pay me this certain amount, else ipapublish ko to. And these are confidential data ng mga estudyante, right? So this kind of cyber attacks really is targeting mostly education. Bakit? Kasi mas critical yung mas vulnerable sila, critical yung data na meron sila. Kaya most likely sila yung ina-attack. So how can we do that? How can AWS be able to help you in that? We have services, we have solutions that can also help you to basically secure all your AWS infrastructure and all your data into the cloud, right? So these are some of the trends na nakikita natin currently. So how can AWS be able to help you on that? But first of all, let's start with what is basically AWS? Who is AWS ba talaga? We are really, ako as a sales, nakakausap ko yung ibang mga customers natin. Familiar lang sila doon kay Amazon.com, no? Yung retail organization natin. So basically, Amazon.com is our our very first customer na AWS. So we have supported their infrastructure para mas makita nila yung pagdami ng access ng mga tao, tsaka yung pagdami at access dun sa website ni Amazon.com. Kasi nung nag-i-start pa lang si Amazon.com, hindi naman in-expect ni Jeff Bezos na talagang magbo-boom siya agad-agad eh. So hindi niya na-anticipate yon, and madalas yung system niya and yung website niya madalas bumabagsak kasi ang daming nag-access. So he specifically built and established AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, to support yung IT infrastructure niya, to accommodate para maging scalable yung infrastructure niya, ma-accommodate niya yung dami ng nag-access dun sa system ni Amazon.com. Right? So that is how AWS actually started. But let us be more specific in identifying what is really cloud computing. So AWS is a cloud computing services, right? So we identify cloud computing as an on-demand delivery of ICT resources over public-private networks. This is the most critical word here, with zero upfront cost, no long-term contracts, and is pay-as-you-go pricing. Right? May mga na-encounter tayo na cloud provider na they're saying that they're really cloud, but then you need to pay upfront. You have to have like a long-term contracts to them. Tapos hindi sila nagpo-pay as you go. So we just want to set this straight, that this is the right definition, and this is the real definition of a cloud computing. Right? And you have to make sure that kung magpaplano tayo na mag-implement or mag-set up ng cloud sa organization natin, dapat nasa-satisfy niya yung description na to. Right? So, what is AWS, right? So, AWS provides a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform into the cloud. So, these are the benefits that you can get with AWS. Number one is, of course, low cost. Bakit? Kasi it's pay as you go. So, kapag hindi, for example, as a developer, right? As a developer or as a project owner, meron kang i-roll out na project because you know na yung project na to will definitely be able to help your customers, will able to help your students, right? Pero pag nag-roll out yung project na to at nalagay na siya sa production, at nalagay na siya sa production, you need yung development side niya na hindi, kumbaga, wala ka ng investment sa development side niya. So you can just easily shut it down, right? So nag-save ka na sa cost nag-save ka ng cost dun sa development side mo, but then again, yung production mo still ongoing. It's also low cost kasi, as I mentioned, it's a pay-as-you-go. So think of it like you're paying an electricity, right? Kapag hindi mo na kailangan or kailangan mo magtipid ng kuryente, patayin mo lang yung kuryente mo, makakatipid ka na. Huwag kang gumamit ng appliances mo na mahal, na malaki yung voltage, makakatipid ka na. So it's the same concept in the cloud. Kapag hindi mo na kailangan yung cloud, you just shut it off, save ka ng budget mo. Kailangan mo magtipid, there are cost optimizations that our team can definitely help you para makapag-lower ka ng cost, right? Elasticity and agility. As I mentioned earlier, na-appreciate na ng mga management natin ang pagiging agile ng isang organization. And this is something that you can definitely get kapag naka-cloud cloud infra ka. Right? Flexible. Kasi it's very easy for you to create the application and then roll it out. Again, yung pagiging relevant mo sa market, yung pagiging relevant mo sa mga customers mo. Right? So, next, definitely secure. In AWS, security is always our number one priority. Later on, I have certain slides na makita natin what are the services and security compliances na complied si AWS, and of course global search. I'll discuss global search later on my previous slide, on my succeeding slide, sorry. So what sets AWS apart? ayoko nang isa-isahin to, basically. But I just wanted to emphasize few of this. Like, for example, of course, I mentioned security already. Yung service depth, breadth and depth ng services namin. So currently in AWS, we have around almost 200 services, features and services that our customers can definitely leverage on. So nabanggit ni Miss Ren kanina na may mga hindi natin maiiwasan na yung mga customers tatawag sa atin at iba't iba yung kanilang gustong mangyari, iba't iba yung gusto nilang gawin. And because of this depth services na AWS, the breadth and depth ng services na AWS, we can definitely accommodate and help you accomplish and implement yung project na ginagawa natin. Right? Global footprint, I'll be discussing this further on my next slide. So I just want to emphasize din po yung pricing philosophy. So in AWS, currently we have around 107 proactive price reductions. Bakit kami nagkakaroon ng price reductions? Because AWS is leveraging cloud economics. Economies of scale. So economies of scale is basically we are getting savings. The more customers the more customers using our services, and the more services our customers are using, the more savings AWS are incurring. So itong savings na to, we are giving it back to our customers as price reductions. I don't know kung narinig nyo na to before sa ibang vendor, sa ibang vendor na wini-work nyo, na kinakausap nyo. But this is very peculiar kay AWS na we are approaching our customers, even yung mga existing customers namin, ina-approach namin sila. Tapos sinasabi namin na, hey customer, nakita namin na biglang tumataas sobrang taas ng usage mo compared to your last month's usage. Anong nangyari? Maybe we can help you to optimize your infrastructure para mapababa natin yung cost mo. Right? This is very peculiar kasi majority of the not only cloud vendor, no, pero halos lahat ng vendor, what they always say is, of course, what they always want is revenue. What they always want is making sure na nagbabayad naggumagamit si customer ng customer nila ng mga services nila. But with AWS, we are definitely helping you to manage your cost well. Right? And of course, ecosystem. Value Line is one of our valued partner in the Philippines. Currently, we have 10 of thousands of partners, and actually more than 7,000 technology partners in our marketplace. So marketplace is basically our platform where you can find our technology partners, where you can choose our technology partner that can integrate dun sa AWS infrastructure na meron po tayo. Right? So on my next slide, the global infrastructure components. This is a bit too technical, so I'm not going to go through with everything. But what I wanted to emphasize here is that with AWS, we highly prioritize yung high availability ng applications and data nyo with AWS. So for example, you decided to put your data or your application in AWS, right? So for example, you put it in a certain region. So basically, region is like a physical or a presence of AWS in a certain country. So for example, you decided to put it in in Singapore region, right? In Singapore region alone, we have availability zones, which has 2 or 3 data centers. Right? Availability zones are clusters of data centers. So in Singapore alone, there are 3 availability zones, which are clusters of data center. And so imagine po yung magiging high, kung gaano magiging high available yung data or yung system ninyo. When you put it in Singapore region, yung data nyo will be replicated, right, sa 9 data centers already. Hindi lang sa 3, but to 9 data centers. Bakit? Kasi yun yung that is how AWS infrastructure was built, to make sure na high available yung system and data po natin. Right? Just FYI po, that we don't have region in the Philippines yet. So most of our customers in the Philippines are leveraging either Singapore market, Singapore region, Hong Kong, and Sydney. May yun. Ito yung most common, no? Most common na regions na ginagamit ng mga customers natin sa Philippines. But so this POP or the point of presence, this is something na meron na meron sa Philippines. So POP are, imagine like it is a small data center, isang maliit na data center na owned talaga ni AWS within the Philippines to help make sure na kahit nasa Singapore region yung data mo, yung latency or yung bilis ng access mo sa system is mabilis pa rin. So parang hindi mo siya nararamdaman na nasa Singapore siya or nasa Sydney siya or nasa Hong Kong siya, right? So ito yung global infrastructure ni AWS ngayon that is already here. You just have to utilize and you just have to configure better para magamit nyo siya lahat. Right? So as I mentioned earlier, in AWS, security is always a job zero for us, meaning it's always our priority. We have compliances, certification compliances that we are already complied to. Right? We have identity access management and other services na pwede niyong gamitin to make sure na highly secured ang data and ang system niyo with AWS. Just a note that in AWS, we also have this shared responsibility model, right? So, anong ibig sabihin ng shared responsibility? So, somehow, we are treating our customers as our partner. Parang ganon. Na AWS is basically responsible for any security of the cloud, right? Making sure na yung compute or yung instance, yung storage, the databases, and everything na gagamitin nyo with AWS will be will be highly secured, right? However, we are relying to our customers to be responsible for the security in the cloud. So this means na we are relying to you to make sure na ibibigay na that you are configuring it to your that you're configuring securely your applications. You're putting in data, secure data into AWS then, right? We are relying to you to turn on some features that would definitely secure your system, like for example yung encryption, right? Encryptions are there already. It's part of the services. You just have to turn it on. So ito yung mga bagay na we are basically relying to our customers na gawin, right? Because at the end of the day, AWS will not own your data, will not own your system, and you are the only one na makakapag-access din po ng system nyo. AWS has no access dun sa system na ilalagay nyo po kay AWS. So in this whole shared responsibility model, think of it as like a house, no? Pag bibili kayo ng bahay, and AWS is basically your realtor, right? So we are providing you a house, no? Na nandun na built house, na may gate, na may pinto, na may bintana, na may susi. But we are relying to you to make sure na every night yung mga pinto nakalock. We are relying to you na kung iduduplicate mo yung susi na to, you're only giving this key to the person you trust, or yung kailangan lang talagang may access dun sa system na yon. Right? So this is the shared responsibility that we have, and we are relying to you as our customer po. Yan. Right? So, cloud computing for education. So if you can see here, we have some distinct buckets that we have identified for education, like of course higher ed, K-12, edtechs, and learning companies. So we understand, sabi ko nga po kanina, that we understand na iba-iba yung pangangailangan ng mga organization natin at iba-iba rin po yung way ng pagbibigay ng solusyon sa mga organizations na nangangailangan ng solusyon po natin. So, we treated our customers, each customer is unique. So, we are also providing them a unique solution para ma-resolve po yung challenges na meron tayo. So, what are the key drivers? What are the key drivers ng mga organizations, bakit they're moving, right, from a cloud managed applications and desktop migrations? Of course, number one is always an access. May it be for mobile laptops or anything, but for mobile users, no, yung making sure na kahit nag-work from home kayo, you will be able to access those applications and those data na previously na-access nyo lang sa network natin sa company, right? So, currently din po especially sa mga educators na nandito sa webinar natin na to, recently we are allowing our students and our staffs to use their own devices, right? What we call the bring your own devices, right? So, yung pag in-apply natin to sa mga estudyante, sa mga employees po natin, we are actually somehow somehow compromising yung security ng mga data natin kasi we are allowing this data to be saved dun sa personal laptop ng mga employees and mga students po natin, right? So, increased data security is number one driver. Kasi everyone is working from home, so we have to make sure na kahit tumalabas yung data sa network ninyo or sa building natin, it's still secured. And of course, improve agility, right? Again, sabi natin kanina, being agile is very important. So what is not working? Right? For personal computers, of course, sa mga IT na nandito sa call natin, yung pag-inventory natin ng mga devices ng either students man yan or employees natin, hassle na agad yan. Na sobrang kahit na maliit na organization lang tayo, yung pag-inventory natin ng mga devices always a time-consuming activity na agad, right? I-add mo pa yung making sure na secure yung infrastructure, yung data natin, right? And it's also always expensive to scale. Adding, of course, kapag may dumating na bagong employees, you have to add you have to create a new investment para sa kanya, para maging productive siya, right? And this is very this is very costly para sa isang organization, hindi siya cost-effective. So these are the most common drivers kung bakit nagpaplano ang mga organizations to move or to use a cloud-managed applications or desktop migrations, right? So, how can we change that? Paano namin kayo matutulungan to achieve those challenges and basically implement that to your organization, right? So in today's organization, again, as I mentioned earlier, medyo paulit-ulit ako, but we are realizing the benefits of being agile, yung security natin, and of course yung business continuity natin, right? So organizations can also obtain the same benefits of the end user computing by simply migrating their virtual and traditional application desktop to AWS Cloud Managed applications and desktop services. So we have some solutions na nabanggit na rin kanina ni Ms. Ren to be able to help you be more agile, have a continuity and secured access to your applications and to your data. So, but then again, right? Sabi ko nga kanina, we are all unique as an organization, but we have, in order for us to provide you the best solution for you, we have to identify the transformation use cases that you have. So, ito yung usual mga challenges and mga basically challenges and gustong ma-achieve ng mga organization po na lumalapit sa atin for remote working and remote learning, isa-isahin lang natin siya, pasadahan lang natin ng mabilis. So number 1 is, of course, flexible remote work, right? So as more employees work remotely, the goal is always to enable your employees to be as productive at home as if nasa office sila. Right? Kasi walang nagsusupervise eh. So anything na so yung productivity should be the same or even more than what they're doing kapag nasa office sila, right? So paano sila mas nagiging productive? Of course, by providing a rich user experience balance with all the data access na meron sila na kailangan nilang i-access na before na-access lang nila within the employees network. Ngayon, now that everyone is working from home, usually ang solusyon ng company is to provide VPN, right? VPN is always okay. Providing VPN is always okay and yun yung first step usually ng mga organization. Pero pag masyado nang marami yung nag-access ng VPN mo, usually either bumabagal siya or nahihirapan yung mga IT natin to deploy more and give more VPN access dun sa mga employees po natin, right? Next is, of course, agile access for students, not only for the workers but of course yung mga students po natin, right? Remote access is not without organizations are actually looking for a cost-effective delivery of remote access to their students without even provisioning, shipping, or manage physical devices. So ngayon, we are allowing our students to basically use their own devices, but we have to make sure as an educator na yung mga applications na kailangan nilang gamitin for them to be successful at makagawa ng mga assignments, projects, and all is ma-access pa rin po nila. Right, and this is something that we can definitely help you with through virtual laboratories. So we can do virtual laboratories for your students to have an agile access to your applications, right? Next is accelerated delivery for student labs. So same as nabanggit ko po kanina. So instead of you provisioning a new kasi may customer akong nakausap before, ang ginagawa nila is that they're giving out installer to their students para install nila yung kanilang mga applications na kailangan. So isa-isa si students nag-i-install sa kanilang laptop, kanilang desktop ng application na yon. Tapos yun yung ginagamit nila in doing examinations, in doing projects and all, right? Pero hindi siya ganoon ka-effective. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman po lahat ng mga estudyante is well tech savvy, right? To fully install everything, right? So may mga challenges sila na kailangan i-troubleshoot ng mga MIS natin or ng IT natin para lang ma-fully use ng estudyante yung kanilang mga applications. And that actually would AWS can be able to help you on that. Again, by virtualizing your applications para na-access na lang ng mga estudyante yung applications natin through their choice of devices and at the same time choice of browser. So nagiging browser-based yung mga application natin, yung mga estudyante hindi na kailangan mag-install. Right? Next is reduce design and engineering computing costs. So may mga sa education, of course may mga engineering subjects tayo, design projects, right? And some project itong mga projects na to usually requires a high intensive or graphic intensive system, laptops or machine, right? And even pag yung mga nasa schools pa, kapag ginagamit nila yung physical laboratory sa school, may mga universities or school tayo na timing na kailangan estudyante na to gagamit lang ng ganitong oras kasi limited yung machine na kayang accommodate yung ganong kalakas ng graphic intensive na application na yon. But with AWS, we can definitely help you, right, to have like an instance or yung parang virtual machine na ready for a cloud, for a graphic intensive application. So again, if virtualize natin to, para yung graphic intensive application na to na ginagamit usually ng mga engineering students, they can easily access it via browser lang. So hindi na nila kailangan bumili ng yung matataas na specs ng laptops, matataas na specs na computers for them to complete the entire course. Right? And of course, accelerate dev test cycles. Yung mga developer po kasi natin, most of the time, they need to how do I say it? They need basically a faster time to production. So they need to test it out. Ngayon, kapag may kailangan silang i-release na application or i-release na feature ng application, they need to re-image the machine. Right? Kailangan kung ano yung last state na mayroon sila before, yun yung kailangan nilang i-redevelop, if I can say that. Or i-re-image, tapos iti-test out siya ng mga end users for user validation or user verification bago siya i-roll out ulit. Ngayon, the challenge there is yung cycle, right? Yung faster time cycle ng development natin. Kasi kapag hindi tayo naka-cloud, naka-on-prem tayo, for example, again, yung relevancy, right? Yung pagiging relevant ng application natin. Pag naka-on-prem tayo, usually matagal yung process natin to be able to add new features and then test user verification then before we can roll it out. So cloud basically helps our developers to have a more faster time to production, whether it is internal man yung application niya or internal yung applications. Most of them actually would take weeks lang, days and weeks for them to be able to complete the entire cycle. Right? So in the interest of time, I think nag-overtime na ako. Sorry about that. I just want to go through few more slides. So right? So this one already presented by Ms. Ren kanina, yung workspaces and app streams. What can we help, paano to makakatulong sa inyo? And later on, after my presentation, we also have demo for you na makita nyo kung ano yung benefit talaga, the user interface and all ng AppStream tsaka ng works, basically these solutions, right? So few more slides. So these are some of the sino ba yung magbe-benefit, right? Sino yung magbe-benefit ng paggamit ng managed application and desktops, right? So definitely yung mga users natin, the data itself, yung cost nyo will definitely go down, and of course compliances. I just want to go through it one by one. For the users, as I mentioned earlier, let's take for example na lang yung mga engineering subjects, right? So hindi na ninyo kailangan mag-invest pa. Hindi na kailangan mag-invest pa sa malalakihang specs ng servers for you to be able to implement that application, kasi AWS can provide you that instance na kakailangan ninyo para yung user interface would be, yung user experience, right, is mas okay compared to an on-premise or basically to an on-premise setup, right? Of course, protecting your data. Data is always important, right? So we have quite a lot of services na pwede niyo pong gamitin to definitely secure your data in using all our AWS services. That includes desktop as a service and managed application service, no? And of course, control your costs. I was mentioning earlier that of course it's a pay-as-you-go service. Kapag hindi nyo na siya kailangan, definitely pwede nyo siyang i-shutdown, i-hibernate para minimal lang po yung cost natin. It can automatically scale as well. It can auto-stop. kapag medyo hindi nagagamit masyado yung application natin, and that would definitely save you a lot from your budget, right? So again, think of it as you are paying your electricity. Kapag hindi nyo na siya kailangan or kailangan mo magtipid, yung aircon natin, gamitin lang natin sa gabi, right? The rest, electric fan lang muna. So, same concept with AWS. If you need to control your cost, if you need to save up money, let us know. We can definitely help you to optimize it, right? So in the interest of time, I just gonna pass through itong mga succeeding slides ko. So these are the compliances. Six more populars aside from desktop as a service and manage application service. We have this common use cases din po na ginagamit, or usually tinutulong namin sa mga customers po namin, like for example, website hosting. For education, we have like LMS. So we are basically helping them to host their LMS, may it be Moodle or any other LMS that you have, but nating i-host yan sa cloud. Like, of course, I mentioned virtual desktop storage, and of course, multi-account strategy. We can further discuss it moving forward po if you have questions, right? Yeah, so hindi ko na tapusin to. I just pass it through. Ayan po. Ang nabanggit na ni Ms. Ren kanina, some of the customers that already using their services. Here are some more education customers who ni AWS globally, basically, right? Hindi ko na isa-isahin, but these are our workspaces customers. So they leverage AWS workspaces to provide like working remotely sa mga staffs po nila and to their students as well. We have upstream customers as well. Yeah, so we have SUSS in Singapore, where they migrated their learning management system in AWS as well. Same with AMA, who also migrated their learning management system in the cloud, AWS cloud, and of course education.ph, right? So apologies kung medyo minadali ko na po yung last part ng presentation ko. In the interest of time, because I really want to have much time dun sa demo para mas makita nyo at mas ma-appreciate nyo po siya ng ayos. Right? So thank you so much, everyone. Mia, over to you.
Okay, thank you for that, Trisha. Okay, so right now we'll be proceeding to the demo, which was conducted by the VBusiness team. So let me just switch over the presenter mode to myself. Hold on. All right, so